Hello, Mike here, and in yesterday's video you saw that I unboxed everything for my EVO upgrade, or my DeepRacer upgrade. So I've got the original DeepRacer here, I've got all the parts that I unboxed yesterday ready to upgrade my DeepRacer to the DeepRacer 2. So what do you get inside the box? Well, the big ticket items are, of course, the brand new shell. So this shell has been customized with a hole in the top for the LIDAR unit. There's extra space here for the second camera. And as well, if you look at the profile of it here, you can kind of see it's got this sort of rhino nose to it as well, which I suspect is to stop the LIDAR from scanning directly forwards. Of course, the main really big ticket item is this. This is the LIDAR unit. Now, this is actually a completely off-the-shelf LIDAR unit that they've used from RP LIDAR. You can go to their website, you can have a look at the libraries and the code so you can actually muck around with it yourself. The other item is, of course, another camera. So it's exactly the same, as far as I can tell, to the camera that's already on DeepRacer. So if we take its cover off, you can see it's here. We've got another one. So this gives it stereo vision. Okay, so those are the big ticket items. As well, you get a cable to plug the LIDAR into the USB of the car. You get this extra USB extension. So this is USB-A extension cable. And I think that's just so that you can plug it into where you have accessibility to the USB port on the DeepRacer to allow you to put USB memory sticks. I think some of this is going to make it difficult to get to that, so I think that's what that's for. We've also got some spare clips for the shell, I suppose, if you've lost the others. And you've got an entire bag's worth of screws. I have to say, from looking at the instructions for how you put this together, I think you might need one of these, but I'm not sure why I've got an entire bag. This is a quality screwdriver, so nice one, Amazon. And then finally, we've got this. And I don't really know what this is. And I've looked in the instructions and I still don't know what this is. So if you work for AWS, or if you just know, please let me know. What is this for? I've thought about maybe it could be a storage unit. Maybe you put screws in there, but I don't know what this is. Maybe it'll become evident when we start to do the build. So the instructions are provided via PDF. So that's why they're on my screen over here. So the first thing to do is to take some of the parts off of the original DeepRacer. And so what we need to do is I'm going to take this battery off. This actually isn't the battery that originally came with DeepRacer. That's gone somewhere else. We're going to need to take this camera off, and we're going to need to take these bits off. These are the mounts for the original shell. So it's an enormous screwdriver for tiny screws, but it goes to a very fine point at the end, so it does work. I'm going to put screws in. There we go, off to the side, right there. Okay, so that's that gone. So I should be able to lift that out. That's the mount for the back of the shell. There's a screw down in the front here, which actually is a little bit tight to get into. Unscrew that. Oh, it's magnetic. Awesome. I'll put that screw in my screw holder. And let's take this out. So we shouldn't need those anymore, but of course I'll keep them. Now it says that we should pull this camera out, so we'll go ahead and do that. Now, I don't think this is actually all that easy. It's kind of clipped in at the bottom. If you look at this other camera that we've got, it's actually got these clips here on either side, which clip into the shell of the car. So let's go ahead and use a flat blade screwdriver, and we'll just stick that under there if it's long enough. There we go. I've managed to get the original camera out. All right, let's place that there. New camera here. So they are, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same as far as I can see. Right, and now it says the time has come to place the LIDAR on the vehicle chassis. I'm going to place this on the car. Now, here's an interesting thing I noticed actually when I was looking through the instructions for this. So we'll place this down there. And that's this metal bar that we can see at the back. Now this metal bar on the instructions is actually pictured in this position. So from this hole to this peg. But on my car, as you can see, my LIDAR unit, it's one space back. Somebody else that I've seen online, theirs is also one space back. So we'll have to take a look at that and figure out where it needs to go. Okay, so it's rocking about a little bit because it's got some screws already in the actual chassis itself that are waiting to be screwed down. And so I'll go ahead and screw those down. And to screw the one down at the back, I'm going to have to actually loosen this off and move this to one side so that I can get access to the screws in here to screw that down. And there's another one right down inside there. You can just about see it, that I've got to find a screwdriver to get down to that. So let's go ahead and get the screwdriver into this really tricky one at the front. This was tricky when I didn't have a LIDAR unit there. There we go. Strangely, holding it up like this makes it easier. And let's do the one at the back. Okay, it's firm enough. I'll put this back, and for now I'm going to keep it back here. I don't know, we can always move it later, it's not a big deal. Now it's saying that I should put more screws in it. So the official instructions are saying that I should put some screws in the front here. I've got a feeling that when the instructions were written, this thing was less built than it is now, because there appears to already be screws in there. We'll just keep that for the moment because I don't think that's nothing necessary there. And this is quite sturdy on the vehicle now. It's not going anywhere. And there is just about space, is there? How am I supposed to get the battery in there? So that could be a problem. I'm going to have to put this battery back in. I'm going to take this off and put this battery back in. And it probably never said to remove the battery, did it? Yeah, you're going to have to keep the battery in there and never take it out and actually charge it inside the vehicle, which is fine because these batteries charge through the USB Type-C cable. All right, bear with me 1 second. I've got to take this off. Okay, so now the battery is back and installed inside the car. It's essentially never coming out unless we get a screwdriver onto the car again. So next they're going to get us to actually plug the LIDAR sensor into the car. And the way we do that is with these USB sockets at the front. So the USB sockets that were for the camera originally in the middle is now going to be for the LIDAR sensor. And then the two USB sockets either side are going to be for the stereo cameras. So let's go ahead and plug that in. So I'm plugging the micro USB. It's a good mix and match of different USB sockets on this. Okay, so now insert cameras. I think this is the original camera. We'll put that in on this side. This one, plug that one in. Plug that into place. Okay, so now all of the USB sockets at the front of the car are now connected with something. All right, so the big ticket items are now on the car and connected. So it's saying now reattach the USB Type-C cable. I don't actually know if this is the original cable that came with the car. I do know that I have a little bit of problems plugging it into the battery because it's a different battery to the one that car came for with originally, but it kind of goes in. There we go, that's good. If you have the longer cable, which they're saying is the Dell cable, to actually bring it up and wrap it around the base of the LIDAR thing. It's basically using the LIDAR thing as a cable management system, which is interesting. And yeah, that kind of works. It comes down and plugs into the USB Type-C on the side of the car, which is where the main power goes in. So, oh, it's saying now that we should turn it on and get going. So basically, we've done it. I think this battery's got charge. I hope this battery's got charge. Let's plug it in. And then over on this side, press the power button. Okay, nothing's happening. I don't think that's connected in properly. Let's give that another try. There we go. Whew. Okay, so the power lights are on. And if you can see on the top there, the LIDAR unit is now spinning around. And that's pretty much as far as I wanted to go. Oh, I forgot to put this back on, so let's just do that, even though I don't really know what it's for, but maybe it has something to do with this, which clearly has nothing to do with holding screws. You put it on the... It's got like a little sticky thing on it. I have no idea. All that's left to do then is put the actual lid on, which I'll do carefully because it's currently spinning. And that's the build finished. We now have what is probably a fully functioning DeepRacer EVO. I'll just have to dive into software, dive into the console, dive into the machine learning and see what I can make it do. But I hope this was interesting or useful or neither or both. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.